Yeah. What's up?
Hey, I just wanted to remind you, we've got the Elantra N-Line video coming out next week, and we have not got an intro yet.
No, I know. I'm busy right now. Can we do it later?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll make a Siri reminder or something.
Okay.
Hey Siri, remind me in 5 days to make sure that we filmed an intro sketch for Hyundai's Elantra N-Line.
Okay. Added to reminders.
Huh.
What's that?
It's a Siri reminder.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure it's only interested in Disneyland train line.
Disneyland train line.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I have no idea.
You're watching Throttle House. I'm Thomas.
And I'm James.
And this is the brand new Hyundai Elantra.
N-Line.
What happens when you get the guy that designed the Lamborghini Murcielago, yeah, you heard that right, and the guy responsible for the Kia Stinger GT, the Genesis G70, and many others, and stick them in a room together and tell them to make a fun front-wheel drive compact Hyundai that costs under $30,000 Canadian? You get this, the Elantra N-Line.
A successor to the Elantra Sport, the N-Line has a familiar, and now rather established, 1.6-litre turbo that puts out 201 horsepower. Except this time, it's an all-new chassis, which also means a healthy serving of Hyundai's new tech.
The question is, with the selection of affordable, actually fun compact cars ever decreasing, can the new Elantra save the day? Let's find out. If you're new to Throttle House, we do car reviews, track tests, and quite a lot of messing around. So subscribe and hit the bell.
Yes! Listen to the sound of that 1.6-litre turbo. This has more than 50 horsepower above the normal Elantra. That's what makes it an N-Line. Hyundai are great in that sense. They don't lie. It's not a cosmetic package. It's a real performance bump. 195 pound-feet of torque. And Hyundai's Drive DCT gearbox. 7-speed. Americans, you're lucky. You get a 6-speed manual, which is the way I wish this was spec'd. However, it is a good gearbox. Does the N-Line immediately mean it's a powerful car? Not really. It's quick. It's definitely quick. Something like the VW GLI feels a little bit quicker, but this is definitely as much power as you need. Peak torque is available after 4,500 RPM, so it lets you wind it out with a huge asterisk, which is, even though I'm in sport mode right now, for whatever reason, it's not taking me to red line. I've got this wonderful red checkered flag here showing me where red line is. And it's short shifting me at 6,000 RPM, even when I'm shifting with the paddles. Let me hit the limiter. Let me feel like I'm in a sporty car that has a red checkered flag on the rev gauge. Does it sound good? It's not bad. It's a little bit try-hard, as any 1.6-litre turbo car would be when you put your pedal to the metal. It certainly doesn't sound as piped in as the Jetta GLI, or as aggressive as something like the Corolla Apex we just tested. But in that sense, I kind of like it, because it's not too rude boy. Oh yeah, those downshifts. Yeah, no, give me another one. and onto the power. You know the best thing about the DCT in the N-Line? It's not the IVT in the normal Elantra, which is Hyundai's fancy way of saying CVT. Which means I've got two actual clutches instead of a cone and a string.
Okay, that's not entirely fair. Hyundai's IVT is better than a normal CVT, but the point is they seem to be collecting all the transmissions these days. And even though we don't get the manual here in Canada, at least this one has a snappier gearbox.
However, the car does leave me wanting a bit. Take it into a corner, and that inside wheel does spin because, unfortunately, the N-Line doesn't get an LSD. That's something that only the N will get, as well as massive increase in power. And the N will get the 8-speed wet DCT, but it will probably cost, going by Veloster N pricing, 10 grand more than this.
The good thing about Hyundai is that they really don't mess around when they put a badge on a car, like James said. For example, not only does this one have more power than the regular Elantra, it's also got 26% stiffer springs in the front, 71% stiffer springs in the rear, a thicker anti-roll bar, bigger front brake rotors. It's actually got performance stuff. So you might be lacking some, luxury things. James and I talk about that in a minute. It's actually got some performance stuff to it. And that's because they've got a guy on staff that we've talked about before who knows what he's doing when it comes to tuning cars. His name is Albert Bierman.
Or Albie, as we're affectionately calling him now. Formerly the chief engineer of BMW's M Performance division, he's responsible for some of the best M cars ever made. And then these guys stole him. And he's a German sports car engineer through and through. In fact, he started his career by doing a master's in mechanical engineering at Rheinisch-Westfälische Technische Hochschule Aachen.
Oh, did you need one of these?
No, I'm good, thank you. Okay. Point is, he's head of R&D at Kia Hyundai, so he's directly involved in making sure cars like this drive well. In fact, in this particular case, he was there start to finish.
And it shows. Right off the bat, the steering is really good. It's not as sharp as a Civic Si, but there's like road textures, feedback coming through. It weights up in a predictable fashion. It doesn't weight up a lot because, as I said, we're on snow tires and the car doesn't weigh very much. But if you've ever driven a Lotus, the steering talks to you in a way that you until you drive one, you can't really fully understand. And like that's the benchmark. It's that direction, you know what I mean?
Okay, so that's a bit of a stretch. Obviously, the unassisted steering in a Lotus is on another level, but the point is the N-Line has some real engagement. What it doesn't have, however, is a limited slip differential up front. For those who don't know, that's a special type of gear that forces some torque to go to both wheels across the front axle, which is why we keep spinning that inside front wheel when we plant the throttle. Thankfully, though, the Elantra manages pretty well.
Even though we don't have a diff up front, as long as you finesse the car into the corner, you get a little bit of front grip out of it, and it feels playful. I like how stiff the whole car feels. And, see, that's the problem, we don't have a diff. You cannot overstate the importance of a limited slip differential. You really, really can't. And I understand that they've left it for the end, but this car feels like it wants that traction in the front. It wants you to be able to stomp your foot coming out of the corner because the rest of the personality of the car is very athletic. Okay, and I'm gonna flip it over into comfort mode, and because it's our job and we have to not just assess the sporty aspects of a car. It has to be said that the damping, the suspension, the ride is spot on this car. They did not sacrifice any comfort for performance. It's actually quite soft, but it's still very well controlled in the corners. We were just recently on our Extra Throttle House channel, bopping around in a Corolla Apex. The ride in that was awful. It's crashing all over the place and very bouncy. It's not in this. I really do like this car. I think that it drives very, very well, especially for the money, but it does have to be said that I know that they're going to put a limited slip differential and more sporty stuff in the N version, but the GLI has a diff, a GTI has a diff, and a Civic Si has a diff. These are all kind of in the same price category, and you know, as much as I really like this car personally, especially when we have winters and slippery roads, I would probably opt for a car with a limited slip differential up front. But I'm really fussy about that stuff. Most people won't care.
So, the Elantra N-Line is not God's gift to the world, but it is a fun little front-wheel drive car. A good starter if you just want a sporty kind of car. The N is going to be that Dorito that's red with like powder on it and you go, that's bloody hot. This is a normal chip that's just been dipped in that slightly spicy salsa. That's why the colour of it's actually called fiery red. It's just a bit of fun, but it doesn't give you everything back when you start to really push it. That's what the N's going to be.
This is an example of why you need snow tires, isn't it?
You need snow tires.
It's not it's not even a debate. In the winter, in the winter where there's snow, you need snow tires. You don't need all-wheel drive around here anyway.
Well,
Like,
it would be nice.
it would be nice,
But
I
you
agree.
need the tires. And all-wheel drive on its own is not good enough either.
No, all-wheel drive with no snow tires is way worse than front-wheel drive with an open diff with snow tires.
Okay, there's your safety lesson.
Conclusions.
Right, the Elantra. We've not reviewed
Oh, is that what this is?
Yeah, we've not reviewed the new Elantra yet, even in any form.
I don't recognize it because it's different than last year,
they've changed it every year.
which is different than the year before.
Yeah. They weren't sold on the Voltorb
The
style
Voltorb
from
look.
last year.
I
Yeah.
feel bad because we bullied them and then
Yes.
they changed. That's not the message we want to send to kids.
I think this actually looks good.
This is a good looking car. I like it.
I had reservations about the door smash vibe going on here.
Look at this weird little angle thing here. You know what? I don't mind it. What they've done is they've just kind of like taken a pencil and made right angles everywhere. And it's great.
But every sixth fuel stop.
What is that word you just said?
I say sixth.
Sixth?
Sixth.
Sixth?
You just said no bullying. Every seventh fuel stop in this car, someone's going to go, oh, what happened? And you'll be like, actually, I got a great rate and it's perfectly well financed and it's
That's it.
But this is the N-Line. Yeah, so we got some aggressive stuff. We've got the black side skirts here.
Yeah, got the badge.
Got the badge.
Yes.
There's a little spoiler on the back. Real exhaust tips.
Yes, I saw
18-inch wheels.
Yep.
More aggressive frontage here.
Yeah.
With this.
These fake vents?
Yeah. No, they don't. They've got some stuff behind them. You know. There looks like there's some airflow there.
Okay.
I don't think it's a bad looking car.
No, I like the new front end better than the previous one. Also, they have a design language now, or at least they're kind of like they're dabbling in a new design language.
It's more styled than a GLI.
Anything is more styled than a GLI.
Yeah, the Civic Si, which we haven't seen the Si yet, is probably going to be. We've seen the new Civic.
I don't like the new Civic.
No,
it doesn't look good.
A bit boxy.
Yeah. This is a better looking car than that.
But it's good looking. It's good looking.
The tail lights are fun too. They're very angular.
Yes.
Like they look just like lightning bolts of. Anyway, I like this color. I like this car. It's a good size. I like compact sedans.
I think this has been a surprising day about how, we unfortunately have always held the Elantra as the yardstick of average. Like look up average in the dictionary and
Just
there's
picture an Elantra.
Elantra next to it.
Yeah.
I think this breaks the mold.
Well, it's funny because if you go back in time and you look at the Elantra from, I don't know what, like 10 years ago, it is such a sad looking vehicle. Like,
is this going to look sad in 10 years?
No, I don't think so. It might not look good, but at least it will look styled. The old Elantras were all just like, oh well, I guess it needs headlights then.
Yeah.
And it should probably have wheels.
Yeah. They've done some weird packaging stuff with this, and it's more evident on the inside. Okay. So let's have a look. I want to show you.
Okay, I'm going to take my jacket off. Actually, how do you? Oh, it's so cold. Oh, I see. I'm the spot.
Yeah, I got a steering wheel here. Oh, that's winter.
Now,
Anyway, so what I was saying about packaging.
Yes.
All right. This is the N line. So we
Right.
have a bunch of funky N stuff. This is the N steering wheel.
it's the same one in the Veloster N.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it's the N. So this is
Yeah.
different to what you'd get in the other Elantra.
Yeah.
And then the shifter has an N on it.
It does have an N on it.
And then we've got these lovely N stitch seats.
These
that
look
are-
exactly like the Veloster as well.
Yeah, they're more bolstered.
The question is, how is the actual N version of this car going to be any different on the inside?
It's gonna. I don't know.
Because
But
it's got all the N stuff.
What irks me about the packaging is
Yeah.
that the what do we have? It's the Ultimate here, and it's
Yeah, and-
something
and
else in the
so
same.
it's
Basically, the top trim non-N line Elantra
Yes.
has comforts that this doesn't have. It has
Like a significant amount of them.
yeah, like leather
Yeah.
seats. It
Yeah.
has heated rear seats.
Yep.
This infotainment it's fine, but in the normal Elantra, you get like the 10.3-inch screen. You get a digital gauge cluster. And you cannot get that in the N line.
It's interesting because this is the old tech, actually, if you recognize it. That's the old thing that was in the center of Genesis for a couple
but
years.
wouldn't you want to, if you wanted this engine, right, which is coming in at quite a good price,
Yeah, yeah.
wouldn't you spend a couple of grand more to get those things?
I
Why can't we have it as an option?
Yeah, so so what you want is the ultimate luxury, whatever trim, with the N-line
stuff.
engine.
And and the suspension and all that,
that
sort
would
of stuff.
be it would be more money, but I see what you mean, right?
But
So
why-
basically,
yeah.
you have to choose between performance and ergonomics. Speaking of ergonomics, I like to direct your attention to the pimple on the side of the dashboard over there.
Oh, that's for Family Feud. If you know the answer, you just slam it. Yeah.
It's just a really weird
No,
choice for that.
Listen,
yeah.
when cars cost this amount, we don't look for amazing polished wood
No.
or incredible leather surface. It just needs to be ergonomic and friendly, and
It
this
is.
and it is, and it's nice in here. This is we've got this handle for you to hold on to while I
yeah.
understeer. And there's a bit of piano black going on. This is the N-line specific gauge cluster, so I think it's similar to the base gauge cluster, except it's got red stuff going on.
And it has a checkered flag at the red line.
Yeah.
I wonder if they know that the end of the race is not at the red line; it's at the end of the race. It's just it's a strange choice.
That looks like a generic karting placed like font brand.
It does
you
look,
know?
yeah. I know exactly what you
Like
mean.
Karts Are Us.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not. It's fun though, right? This is for a younger crowd. It's supposed to be fun.
I do like. Listen, we've been kind of making fun of it here,
Yeah.
but to be fair, I really like this interior.
Oh, it's great.
Ergonomically, it's perfect. The steering wheel is really comfortable. I like the size of the paddles. They feel special. They're plastic. That's okay. The infotainment is totally usable. Climate control is completely button based.
Yeah, we still have comforts. We have a heated
Yep.
steering wheel
Manual handbrake.
and a manual handbrake,
Yep. Seats are comfortable. Lots of headroom. Well, I mean, enough anyway.
and the rear seat's comfortable as well.
It is, yeah. These seats aren't powered though. Just
No.
for anyone that wants to know, in the N line, you don't get powered seats. You'd have to get
Yeah.
one of the what other trims? The fan.
Yeah, it's all manual stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, this is actually a very nice car for the money. You're getting performance. You're getting comfort. You're getting quality.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because we just drove the Corolla
Oh.
Apex, and the
And
Corolla.
I defended that car, and now
Yeah.
after driving this for the same price, or sorry, was it $500 more?
Yeah, so something. It's within $1,000.
It's just a no-brain choice. Really.
There's a lot more car here. A lot
Way
more
more car.
Much nicer, and it doesn't make the same sacrifices or compromises.
No, it doesn't.
It just, yeah, it feels chuckable. It feels fun. Would you agree that the interior matches the personality of the car?
100%.
Yeah.
So the N-Line is a harmonious and honest package that succeeds its predecessor nicely, and yet leaves plenty of room for a big brother N to come along and rescue it from its bullies.
Yes, a GLI might be quicker, and a Civic Si a touch sharper. But one thing those can't boast, that the Elantra can, is that it is, by quite a margin, the cheapest of the lot. Thanks for watching.